Hey guys, welcome to Horology Biology. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about watch scams on eBay, which is not super fresh and not super nice. What are the things that you need to look out for and the scammers out there, which basically go out there on eBay. And I'm going to mention something else as well about other YouTubers that keep going on about these, which I personally do not agree with.
Damn you, eBay!
First scam that I'm going to mention are sold watches returned with missing parts. Man, there is nothing more annoying than this, but it happens, and I'll be honest with you straight. There is nothing that you can do about this. I don't care what other YouTubers say. It's not true. Don't listen to them, because there is nothing that you can do.
He really said that? Yes.
Let me explain the situation. You basically sell your pride and joy on eBay, and you ship it out to some scrupulous dude at the other side of the planet. What happens is, they get this watch, they basically remove certain parts from the watch that they need, and then they ship it back to you, claiming that this watch was not running when they received it, etc, etc. What they do is they create a not as described case against you. They claim that you have basically described this as a running watch, and once they've received it, they claim it's not running, so they want to ship it back to you. Problem is, once you get it back and you open it up, you find out that there's missing parts in there because this scrupulous dude is gonna took out the setting lever spring that he wants, or he's took out the winding pinion because he cannot be bothered and he's too cheap to go and hunt one for himself or buy it in question, so he robs it off of you basically and gets his money back. Another scam on the list that you need to watch out for is the partial refund scam. Now this is one that you can actually deal with, and it's not that difficult to deal with. It's real simple. You just basically turn around and say, no, it's not happening. You're not getting a partial refund. If you want a full refund, you can have a full refund, but you're not having a partial refund. Now in my experience in regards to this kind of situation, what I find is once you turn around and you actually address the scrupulous dude in question that you are not prepared to provide a partial refund and you would only provide a full refund, a lot of the time you actually never hear from them again. To me, I see it as more like a micro scam. It's not a proper big scam, it's basically a try-on. It's where they're trying to get a little bit of money back for what they've paid for the item in question. It's also called probably buyer's remorse.
No remorse.
They've basically bought this product off of you, this watch in question, and they've thought to themselves, oh man, I think I paid a little bit too much for this. Wouldn't mind an ickle refund. Just a little bit of juice tucking off the top. Let me hit this guy up and see if he'll give me $50 back. No man, I'm not giving you nothing back. If you want a full refund, you send it back to me in the exact condition and I will give you a full refund for it. Another one what buyers can do is they can try and blackmail you with negative feedback, where you wake up one morning, you've had your coffee, everything's fresh, you got your muesli on, and you're like, hey, let me check out my email, let me check the situation on eBay, and you see that there's a message from a guy that you sold a watch to, and this guy's basically turning around, he's not happy about the situation, and he uses those magical words that if you do not help him and rectify him the way that he wants it, he will provide you with negative feedback on your account. Now, no one likes negative feedback, that's negative and it's not super fresh. But these guys will try it on this way. Now, as a positive thing, I like to kind of let them worm into that kind of situation because eBay make it really clear that under no circumstances do they tolerate negative feedback blackmailing. And that's exactly what it is. So never give into it. Just basically say, yeah, if it's fine, you know, it is what it is. And if they do it, you can request it with eBay to have it removed because it's basically breaching the terms and conditions of how feedback is provided, and that is not something they're allowed to do. Another scam out there is the fake return. Now the fake return is also not fresh. Basically, you sell your watch on eBay, you ship it to the person in question, they basically say that they want to return it because there's a problem with it or there's something strange that they're not happy with, and you decide to agree to the return in question because at the end of the day, when it comes to eBay, the customer is always right. I'm going to touch onto that later on, so make sure you stay to the end of the video. You basically agree to have this watch returned to you. Now when you get the package back in the post, there is nothing inside, or there's a completely different watch, or there's a house brick, or there's a packet of Kellogg's cornflakes, or there's some muesli and the brand that you don't like. So you obviously reach out to them and complain, and of course you never hear from them again. Good luck when you reach out to eBay because at the end of the day, they're not going to help you in regards to this situation. And you've basically lost your money because you refunded them, and of course you have lost the watch in question because they basically sent you back some muesli or a house brick or a piece of cat turd. Not fresh, not cool, but it does happen. Another one that comes up that you can actually avoid is the overpayment scam. This is basically where you are just chilling one day and you get a message on eBay from a potential buyer which is asking you that your advertised watch at 300 euros, they're willing to pay 3,000 euros. Now at first you might think to yourself, damn, that's super fresh and super nice, I gotta do it. But here's the catch. They basically want you to ship it out to their friend in Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Because they don't have basically access to a PayPal account, or their bank transfer is not working correctly. So they want to basically send you money via smoke signals or Western Union money transfer or something like that, on the condition that you send it out first. Now, as tempting as it may be, do not do it under any circumstances, because you will not get paid, you will lose your property. It's basically been handled off of eBay, so you're not going to get any kind of support whatsoever. It is just not worth it. I personally just ignore those emails. Believe it or not, people do actually email this kind of thing, which I still find bizarre. But at the end of the day, I can also understand that there are a lot of people out there with zero common sense, which will basically acknowledge these kind of emails and reply to them like, yeah, that's super fresh. I will do it. Yeah, I'll send the watch to you first, and you can just send me the payment later on. No problem. Another scam out there is basically the I have received an empty box scam. Seriously? So this is basically where you've sold a watch on eBay, you shipped it out to the person in question, and they report back to you, or they report it directly to eBay saying that they've received an empty box. Like, why would anybody even send an empty box in the first place? You know, it doesn't make any kind of sense. Everything is weighted anyway. What I actually find amusing about this is, I have seen it on other YouTube videos talking about this, where they will actually turn around and say, hey, it's okay, you can reach out to eBay, they will help you in regards to this situation, and you will win the case and everything. No, man, you will not win the case. You will lose your watch, you will lose your money. That is how it is. The last scam that I basically hear as well that happens is a buyer that basically says that they've never received it. This is a stupid scammer. Now, this is a scammer that has zero common sense, because he could have gone through any of the other scams that I've just listed and done one of those. But instead, this fool decides to do this bottom one where he claims he's not received it. Now, at the end of the day, as long as you have sent this via track post, insured, you will win this situation, because it will show that it has basically been delivered and signed for at the address that you're supposed to send it to. And if not, you're insured for it anyway, so it is what it is. You'll get your money back via the insurance. Now, anybody out there who reaches out to you and says, yeah, your postage is a little bit high, or can you send it cheaper? No, man, I'm sending it how I'm listing it in the description. I'm sending it via DHL. I'm sending it insured, or with UPS insured, or with FedEx insured. And that's how it is. I'm not sending it any other way, because if something goes wrong, it's going to be on my ass, and that's not super fresh or super nice. Now, in the beginning of this video, I went and touched on about other YouTube videos that I've seen talking about these kind of scams, and I wanted to put my input in regards to this of my personal opinion, things that I've experienced over the years of selling watches on eBay, and how it basically breaks down as a seller and the protection that you have in regards to when you encounter one of these kind of scams or problems on eBay. And the answer to this is, you are screwed. There is no protection. I don't give a damn what other people are saying in regards to this. Seller protection? No, man. There is no seller protection. As a seller on eBay, you have no rights whatsoever. If you want to disagree with me with this, feel free to write it down in the comments. But as far as I'm concerned, in my personal experience and the things that I've encountered, when you're selling on eBay, the buyer always wins. eBay customer service is absolutely terrible. Good luck trying to even get these guys on the phone. And you will speak to somebody in a completely different country that is on minimum wage, that does not care about you, does not care about your situation. And at the end of the day, as a seller, you are also paying large fees, over 10%, but you do not get the protection that you deserve. Now, given all of this, you might turn around to me and ask me, hey, but HB, why do you do it anyway? Because you need to look at the maths behind it. Everything that I've just mentioned is, of course, negative, and it's not good, but unfortunately it does happen. But mathematically, it is a minority. It's a small percentage. The positives outweigh the negatives, and that's what you've got to remember. If it was a case of that this kind of thing would happen like every week, every month, then I would never sell on eBay. There would be no point to it. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a minority. It doesn't happen all the time. And in anything in business, in any kind of selling situation, you have to take the rough with the smooth. Smooth is fresh, rough is not. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of eBay whatsoever, and I'm really looking forward to the day comes where another big e-commerce site comes up that will knock these guys out of the park and give sellers the protection they need. Because if there's one thing also that I really don't like about eBay, and I've not touched on this, and I've not seen it that much in other videos, I find it absolutely 100% ludicrous that as a seller, you cannot provide any kind of negative feedback to the buyer in question who has screwed you over, who has caused you massive amounts of stress, time, money, pain, etc., etc., arguments with your wife, kids crying, all of this kind of nut freshness. Your cat's not even using his litter box anymore because it's emotionally stressed. This is not fresh, but it happens. And there is no way as a seller that you can even leave any kind of negative feedback about this scrupulous dude that has done this to you. So they can basically just keep on going and do it again and do it again and do it again. So if you like this totally 100% keeping it real video about eBay and selling watches on there and the scams that happen and the truth about the protection that you have, because you have zero protection. I don't care what people say, you have zero protection. Hit a like on this video. Feel free to subscribe to the HB channel. Then you get information and notifications about when the next HB juicy goodness drops. And guys, as always, I will see you in the next one.